I want to make this video to educate anybody else that might be out there that could be thinking a similar thought process. I would encourage you, don't. You need to have a piece of equipment. If you're going to go out there as a day cab or even with a sleeper power unit, this is not the market. This is not, it's not a bad market. It's not a hot market. It's not super ice cold. I think all of us kind of expected, Trump being in office and just, hoorah, and the market was going to improve. But at the same time, too, you can't turn an aircraft carrier overnight. And a lot of us kind of thought, magically, the market's going to be better, and it's going to take a little while. I'm going to assume most likely the market's going to improve at the end of July to the end of this year. It's going to be a great back end 6 months to the front end 6 months. That's our expectation and the data that we're looking at and we're seeing. But I just want to give you some wisdom, some advice, some guidance. If anybody, for you to bounce a ball off of a backboard to get a perspective of just 2 cents from a person that has been in this business for a decade, from a person that has sold 550 truckloads a month for 5 years, and then been a freight factor for 5 years, both sides of the table and the perspective that I can give, I've done this long enough for, if there's any old timers that have been in the transportation game for a minute, when I say this, I know you're going to understand. If you're new, you're probably not going to. But when you're talking to somebody on the phone, or you're talking to somebody at, the gas station or whatever, you can tell. You can tell if you've done this long enough that, yeah, that person, they're not a dry van person. I bet that's a flatbed guy. Yeah, I bet that person, I bet they're not a flatbed. I bet they're a dry van. You can get a feel for these people. You people, me people, these people. Anyway, you get my point. When you've been doing this long enough, you can kind of get a pulse, and you can tell who you're interacting with. And hopefully you can get a pulse from me with all these frickin' videos that I make. And just the thought process of the feedback that I can give you, I would greatly encourage you, don't take your power unit and go on a load board and think you're going to be able to have a successful trucking company. You don't go into a gunfight with a knife. You don't start a trucking company without a piece of equipment.